Hardest thing about eating acorn jelly is picking it up. So my trick, stab it. Annyeonghaseyo from Korea. Welcome to Next Muchim. Today I'll show you how to make this dish. It's Dotori-muk. Dotori-muk is acorn jelly. So we're going to take acorn powder, turn it into this jelly, and then I'll show you this beautiful sauce that we're going to put on top that goes perfect with it. Let's begin. The trick with using acorn jelly powder to make acorn jelly is to use a 1:6 ratio. So half a cup of acorn jelly powder, and we're going to then mix it with 3 cups of water. So you can adjust it based on that. You want to use a cup of acorn jelly powder, then 6 cups of water. Of course, that would be a lot of acorn jelly. Best thing about acorn jelly though is it's also very versatile. There's a lot of different dishes you can make, and you can see some of them on my channel. Remember, every week I post a new Korean dish and there's some acorn jelly recipes, so check those out. Now this is important, this part here, give it a stir, don't skip this step. Stir it up, make sure all the acorn jelly powder has dissolved, or at least as much as possible. Give it a whisk if you want. Then you're going to strain it and get rid of any lumps. If you don't do this step, you'll find that when you cook it, it's more likely some sort of lumps of acorn jelly powder will be in there, and they harden up. They cook a little quicker and get really hard. So when you slice your jelly at the end, you've got these big, gross, like really hard parts. So strain it, then put it on boil. Make sure you're using a low heat. Okay, lower than you might think you need, but not too low. And then just keep stirring it. Essentially, you just want to sit there and just stir and stir and stir, and it doesn't take too long. This only took me about 5 to 7 minutes. When it gets to the point where it's thickened up, add the salt. When the first bubbles appear, basically, once that first bubble is there, you put the salt in, stir it, and you're going to stir for at least 1 more minute, or about 45 seconds depending. Just keep an eye on it depending on how hot you've got, but just keep it stirring. At this point, you'll see lots more bubbles appearing, and you're basically ready to go. You can do it when there's bubbles like this, and then go a little bit longer to get a better sort of thickness to it. Otherwise, it might be too runny. Just don't burn it or end up with lots of clumps. Cannot stress enough. Keep it stirring. At this stage, just fill up your bowls that you're going to use, let them cool down, and then you're going to place them in the fridge overnight so it can thicken up and become jelly. Give it a little bit of a wipe down. What you could also do is put a layer of plastic on it, and that'll stop it thickening up too much on the edges. The edges can sometimes get a little bit thick, so you can add that step in as well. Look, there's mine when it's all done. Now, surprisingly, it comes out of the jar really easily, or the bowl. I didn't do anything to the bowl to prepare it, I just poured it in. The jelly just sets well and comes out very easily. Perfect, look, easy, super simple. Look at that beautiful sort of glossy finish. That's when you know it's good. And you want to check the inside of these to make sure that there's no big thick pieces. And of course I know that because I've done it the wrong way, where I skipped that step earlier, and I had little chunks of sort of darker colors, and they're quite hard and really ruined the acorn jelly consistency. We're slicing this up. Depending on what kind of bowl you use, your jelly will look different. Mine is a little bit sort of thinner, not as tall. Now let's make a sauce. This acorn jelly dish is really simple. It's just acorn jelly and a sauce. So use some chives, these are good. The more the merrier for the chives. You can add more than that if you like. Sugar, red pepper, mirin, and some sesame seeds, and then soy sauce. And give it a mix. It's that simple. This is a really tangy sauce, and you need it because acorn jelly is a little bit bland. And there, serve it just like that. It's that easy. You want your acorn jelly pieces to be sliced a little bit thick because they're quite difficult to pick up with chopsticks, so a good way to do it is sort of just stab them. And if they're too thin, they just break apart too easy, and they're really difficult to eat. So slightly thick, slightly long pieces that people can sort of dig in with their chopsticks a little bit easier. Let's see how it tastes. So how does it taste? Okay, let's get in here. How do we do this? Hardest thing about eating acorn jelly is picking it up. So my trick, stab it. Let's just do this. Let's get this big piece. Ooh, there we go. Make sure it's got lots of sauce on it. Oh, it's falling. Oh, there we go. Stabbed. Ah. Oh, I made that perfectly. Acorn jelly by itself is a little bit bland, for my taste at least. So a really spicy sort of thing with a bit of these sort of chives in it and delicious gochugaru or red pepper makes this perfect. Oh. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's good. Try this. Make this at home. This was amazing. 안녕하세요 from Korea. Welcome to Next Muchim. Today I'm cooking Dotori-muk Sabal. Dotori-muk is acorn jelly, and Dotori-muk Sabal is acorn jelly with sort of a cucumber, cold broth, as well as a little bit of seaweed flakes on top. It's perfect for summer. We're going to put ice cubes in the cold broth, and it's going to be so good. Hot day outside, delicious ice cold food inside. Can't go wrong with that. Let's begin. The deeper the better, because you don't want it too thin, and you don't want to cut it too thin or it's going to break apart when you put the jelly in with and start to mix it up with all the ingredients and things. So not too thin, but also not too thick. There, my jelly's done. I've cut it up. We're ready to prepare the other ingredients. I'm going to show you a quick broth that you can make that works really well for this dish. You can use any broth. You can also just go to the store and get sort of like a yuksu pack, which is like a broth pack, and just cook it using that. But I like to make my own because I always have a few spare vegetables lying around. So I'm just using these simple vegetables. You can sort of change some things. I recommend keeping the ginger because the ginger flavor is really good. It goes really well with what we're cooking here, and it's a good taste for the summer. Get the immune system up. Fry up your mochi or your anchovies, put in the kelp and the other ingredients, give it a good little wee mix in the water, and then we're boiling it for about 10 to 13 minutes. While that's doing, we can prepare the other ingredients. You can use any kimchi. I've got some Yolmu kimchi. That's sort of part of a kimchi set. There's other types of kimchi in this container, so we've got a few different types there. But just get some type of kimchi and mix it with a little bit of sugar. Give that a good mix, and that's going to add a lot of flavor to it. Any type of kimchi will do. You don't have to use the green kimchi that I'm using. You just can use regular cabbage kimchi, will be fine. And this is the seaweed that we're going to put on. These are dry, sort of seasoned seaweed. They've got this sort of seasoned with salt and a bit of chamgirum or sesame oil. It's very delicious and adds a lot to the dish. Slice up your cucumber. I'm using my grater to do it. And you want long, thin pieces, sort of matchstick size. And sesame seeds to put on top. Give them a quick grind. Just gets a bit more flavor out of them. And that flavor will transfer into the dish, giving you a very savory, nutty taste. The more flavors we get into this dish, the better, especially these natural flavors. So it's about 13 minutes later, and my broth is ready. That is super delicious. So strain all those other ingredients out. You can smell the hints of ginger, got that sort of fish base to it. This is great. It does need to cool down a little bit before we use it, but before we let it cool down, let's put in our sort of flavors. Vinegar is very important to this dish, bit of plum extract, soup soy sauce, just a little bit. Use the soup soy sauce so it doesn't get too dark. If you use regular soy sauce, it'll be too dark. A little bit of sort of garlic and some salt. At this point, of course, please taste it and then adjust to the flavor profile that you're looking at. A bit more salt, maybe a bit more vinegar. Once it's cooled down, it's time to prepare the dish. This is supposed to be a cold dish, so use those ice cubes. Pour it in with your acorn jelly. Look, ooh, very good. And then just add the ingredients on top. This is kimchi. It's green. I know. Most kimchi is red. This is Dotori-muk kimchi. It's a different type of kimchi. There. Oh, and it's almost done. Sesame seeds on top. Don't forget that part. Once you've made the broth, it's really easy to just prepare this in the morning or whenever you're going to eat it. So, super simple dish that once you've put the effort in to prepare the ingredients, you can just pull everything out and make it the next day or a couple of days later. Give it a try at home. And I'm going to taste it for you. Tell you how good it is. Alright, let's eat this thing. Oh, I don't want to mix it up. It looks so beautiful. Ooh. Kimchi, cucumber. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Let's get one of them. Okay, they're hard to pick up, but whoa, there we go. It's falling apart. Oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah. This is great. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's good. Bit of ginger in there. Oh, this is amazing. If this is diet food, oh, I'm gonna be looking good this summer because I'm gonna eat this. Try this. Make this at home. This was amazing. It's so slippery. Annyeonghaseyo from Korea. Welcome to Next Matcha. I've lived in Korea for nearly half my life, and every week I cook a new Korean dish. This week I'm making acorn jelly. For our acorn jelly, we need this acorn powder. So we've taken acorns, ground them up, and turned it into powder. Ooh. We're going to use this powder, and that's going to make acorn jelly, and then I'll show you a couple of different ways to prepare it. Let's begin. Here's our acorn powder, and we're going to take this powder and use it to make the jelly. There's a few different things you can do with acorn jelly. You can just serve it as it is with a sort of soy sauce based sauce on top, or actually what I'm going to do is make a salad. Let's see. The trick with these is to stab it with your thing like this. Perfect. You've got to have seasoning with it. Acorn jelly is very bland if you just have it by itself. So mixing it with this beautiful seasoning is the way to do it, with fresh vegetables and lots of good flavor. Let's try some of this. Oh, I could eat that all day. So healthy. This is great diet food right here. Highly recommend you give it a try. Great vegetarian option, and of course you could add meat to it and it'd be perfectly fine as well. Hope you're having a great day. Enjoy your cooking and 안녕히 계세요. See ya. It's so slippery. Ah.